I had to make a video response because I can't even type out. A little bit of my faith in humanity just died. I'm going to respond to you, but I honestly believe it's like talking to a wall. Because you are just so misconstrued, and you are just so bigoted, and you say you're older than me. You say that, but even if you are older than me, you really need to grow up, because you are not more mature than me. Homosexuality is not a sin. It is not a choice. If it was, why would we choose it? Honestly, tell me why we would choose to be systematically ostracized and hated against and demonstrated against, and in a lot of countries, even today, tortured and killed. Why would we choose that if it's not what we truly felt in our hearts? But I'm going to talk about sin, as if homosexuality was a sin. I don't believe it is, but if it was, then we're going to look at the Bible, which was written 2,000 years ago in a different language, and has been retranslated and reinterpreted hundreds of thousands of times. So, what we're reading is not so much God's word, but man's interpretation of God's word, as man's views have changed throughout the last 2,000 years. And let me remind you that translating something is not an exact art. And sometimes things get messed up. And before the Bible was even written in English, it was translated into it was written in Sanskrit, I believe. I might be wrong, but I very much believe, to my knowledge, it was written in Sanskrit, then translated to Hebrew, then Latin, until the version we have, which has been translated so many times. We have different versions that have different wording. I have the New King James Version, which most Lutherans have. Like, that's pretty typical for Lutherans, is the New King James Version. I'm not quite sure what the different Bible versions are, but we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. He who is without sin among you be first to throw the stone. And since you yelled at my friend Tigger for not reading the entire Bible quote and just cherry-picking, I read the whole book of Romans, which has the quote, "We have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God," in the middle of a page talking about judgment and how God reserves the right to judge. You do not. So, I did not admit I'm going to hell. I said I would rather go to hell than believe in the misconstrued belief of God you have. Because my God, in my Bible, is loving and does not send people to hell for sinning. In fact, if he did, let's look at the big sins that were literally set in stone. If you have never committed any of these sins, any of them, you're either a saint or a liar. And I'm going to call you a liar because I know for sure you have committed the 9th one, "Thou shalt not bear false witness." Because you are bearing false witness in your comments about gays. Because you think, just because you know some of them, you know all of us. Even if you know 1,000 of them, personally, you know all of us. You don't. Because we are human and we are diverse. And saying that how some of us act is how all of us act is a fallacy. And I've taken debate classes, which is why I'm trying to be so calm. And so not hateful, because I'm legitimately scared for you. I'm legitimately scared for what goes on in your mind. And I'm not trying to be hateful or patronizing. I really want to know how your brain works. It fascinates me. It scares me, but it fascinates me. So while we're being honest, I'll admit, I've done 6 of these. 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. I'm human. I mess up. You are too. I'm pretty sure you've committed at least one of these. Most likely more than one, but at least one. So if I'm going to hell, you're coming with me. But let's not get held up on religion, because I don't believe homosexuality should have anything to do with religion. We're going to talk a little bit more about religion before this conversation is over, but we're not. For now, we're going to set it aside. You quoted, "Wow, you still sideswiped the whole gay whore parade. Really, all you fellow whores do represent you. Your grammar is terrible, by the way." I don't believe grammar in any way should be reflected on your argument, because I make grammar mistakes all the time. But you really need to spell check before you post, especially when you want to be taken seriously. Anyways, that's totally unrelated. That's just the little English major in me dying a little bit. It's not just a few sick fags. Sorry, Cupcake. Don't ever call me Cupcake. Ever. But nobody else runs around booty naked in parades except you gay whores. Not even nudists. They have the decency to put on a brown towel. They're just as nuts, but like you, but at least they respect the dress code laws. You said you went to San Francisco, Pride. I've only been to Minneapolis, so I can't say anything about San Francisco. I'm sure there were gays running around naked, because it's San Francisco. That's where the free love movement started. That's where the sexual revolution started. That's where a lot of hippies come from. Not saying that all hippies like to be naked, but in the 60s, that was one of their things, was being liberated. California has more nude beaches than any other state. About 50, to be exact, but so I'm not really thinking you're seeing an accurate representation of gays so much as an accurate representation of Californians. But since we're talking about sideswiping subjects, if I sideswiped the gay pride parades, then you sideswiped my comment about Mardi Gras. 'Cause if you've ever been to Mardi Gras or Las Vegas, you'll know that a lot of straight people are nude too. Doesn't mean all straight people. Because I've seen thousands of straight people who have been whores or who have been rapists. I haven't seen them personally, but you know what I mean. There are thousands of straight murderers and rapists. That doesn't mean all straight people are that. If you're saying that all gays are like the ones who run around naked at Pride, then by extension you are saying all straights are the same that run around in Las Vegas. That's the only accurate conclusion I can draw from that. I find it funny, I'm quoting again, I find it funny how you and all gay Moonies never acknowledge Sailor Pluto as Saturn's adoptive mom. Those that have something to do with the fact that Saturn is straight and an adult? Gee, I wonder. Saturn's just saying Pluto's implied to be asexual, but, no. We acknowledge all three of them are Saturn's parents. You're the one that's not acknowledging canon. And by the way, they were both adults by the Star's arc, which in the anime is when they adopt her. They would be 18, legal adults, legal to sign up and go to war, legal to get married, legal to have children, legal to live on their own. They are legal adults. Hey, newsflash, 17-year-old mothers have kids but never raise their kid on their own. They, by and large, live at home with their mommy, and she, the grandmother, raises the poor child, and the rest get gov help or get on welfare. Again, with the speaking as a whole, I do not believe that you should have a child as a teenager. But that being said, our world is changing. The national average for first-time pregnancies is now 19. And that's saying a lot because a lot of women are waiting until their 40s to get pregnant now. But I've known a lot of teenage mothers who were more responsible and better parents at 16 than women who are in their 30s. Age does not guarantee responsibility. Yes, it is helpful, but it is not a guarantee. I've known some great kids who have come from great mothers who have been teenagers. I've known some terrible kids who have come from terrible mothers who were in their 30s. Nice smokescreen. Let me help you. The Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, the Protestant Church does not promote your whoring homosexual life. As long as we have liberals, there will always be the odd rogue. But pro-whore gay is not, nor now, nor has it ever been, or will be, the position of the Church of Jesus Christ. I'm kind of surprised you're a Latter-day Saint. I would have put you with Westboro Baptist, but whatever. I love how you call the religions who have accepted or have no stance on homosexuality odd rogues, when there are more of them that are accepting homosexuality than you listed. But that being said, I honestly don't believe faith has anything to do with it. Because faith, belief, is just that, belief. Yeah, I believe that my faith in God is correct, but so does every other person who has a religion. It is not fact. It is not grounds for a sound argument. Not having a faith doesn't mean you're not moral. And having a faith doesn't make you moral. Religions are guidelines. They're not codes that you have to follow like a soldier. The last paragraph is just so bigoted. I pray for you, because I'm just going to read it. Poor thing, you're just like every dyke I have ever met. No one needs to know what every fag thinks any more than the world needs to know what every sex worker thinks. After thousands of years of the same song and dance, from you guys, we get the drift. A prostitute wants money in exchange for sex, and a fag wants to have sex with anything with a hole it lusts after. I puke and same old, same old. With 50% of straight marriages in this country ending in divorce, with a large majority of those straight marriages having cheating involved, you're still saying it's only the gays that are lustful. We're not any more lustful than the straights. Again, it is a person-by-person basis. I honestly believe I'm talking to a wall right now because it's beyond my fathomable imagination how someone who's older than me, which I really am finding it so hard to believe because you sound like a child, and I'm trying not to get personal, and I'm trying not to put personal attacks in here, but you sound like a child. You sound so immature. And you are not constructing a sound argument, and I honestly believe I'm talking to a wall. But if even a sliver of what I say gets through your head and can loosen up that wall of cynicism you seem to have, then maybe this is worth the time I have put into it. I must admit you're the first baby dyke I've talked to on YouTube. It's weird getting one of you freaks at the beginning of your horror stage. I love how you say beginning of my horror stage when it hasn't started yet. Again, I'm waiting till marriage. Try not to get a STD by the time if you get to my age, okay? We in the church are tired, sick and tired of caring for you bastards in hospice. Rolling on the floor laughing. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I'll let the rest of YouTube, respond to that. I honestly pray for you. If it's true that you're older than me, even by a year, whether a year or 20, or 30 or 40, if you are honestly my elder, then I want to respect you, but I cannot. You are being so immature and so bigoted that it's hard for me even to fathom. Please respond to this. I legitimately want your response. I legitimately want to know what's going on in your head. I am fascinated by you.